Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Out of the Park 23 as the Minnesota Twins. And today is draft day, so we are going to go ahead and do that. I'm not going to talk as much about my thoughts on the beginning of the draft because we're picking at 26 here. So I think projecting out to that is much harder than projecting out to 8 like we were last time. But what we will do is we will do the first five or so picks just to kind of see what those end up being. And then we will sim out to the Twins and we'll make our pick. Most likely, as far as this video goes, we'll probably do somewhere between 5 to 10 rounds, sort of depending on what interesting things there are to talk about, really. So if we're through 5 and there's nobody super interesting left, then I'll probably cut it there. But if I think that there continues to be interesting stuff, then we will do that. So let's go ahead and see. First overall pick, for me, I think this is probably the guy I would go with. 60 range is enough to fake it in center, should be good in the other two spots. The bat should be pretty good, even if the strikeout rate is high. I think that you would take that if this bat develops anywhere near this. On the pitcher side, I guess I mean this is all players. I mean there's some good high school arms. There also is Kumar Rocker is still here. The mock draft has him going in my range, and I will say that this is a guy I would grab because this is ratings to MLB. They say he's would be a league average pitcher in the majors right now. So I will probably grab him since he just wants slot now if he is still there. But we'll see. All right, first overall pick is Derek Mitchell. Let's see who goes next. Is the other center fielder. The one interesting thing I wanted to note about this guy, I believe it's this guy. No, it's the other one. Hold up. He's not really like he's classified as a catcher, but like I think this is legitimately is a better outfielder than it is catcher. So that's kind of interesting, and I wonder if that will affect where he actually ends up going in the draft. Because I don't think teams will necessarily look at him as a catcher so much as an outfielder. But maybe he's like a Dalton Varsho, where he could be your third string emergency catcher if you need to. Let's see. Baltimore grabs Robert Hogan. Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty good college arm. You would like the baseline to be, I think, a little bit better for a college pitcher, but this is probably a guy you could throw in A ball. The movement's really bad for A ball. I mean, you could. The floor is lower than you'd like for a college pitcher here, I think. The upside's definitely there, but the floor is a little low for college. Fourth overall is Nolan Stevens. This looks like a pretty good bat, but the bat has to develop here. Like this is not a guy you can play anywhere other than first base or maybe left field. Does have high work ethic, which is nice, but if the bat doesn't hit probably all of this, then that's not a great player. And I don't love that much risk at 4. Pittsburgh with their second top 5 pick. And grabs another center fielder in Grayson Tatro. Yeah, but this is an interesting guy because this guy I would bet can play in probably. Okay, so I tried double A. Yeah, I mean this is reasonable in high A this year, which like this is more the type of floor that I was talking about that you would want from a college player. Where I mean the high work ethic, low intelligence is unfortunate, but I mean this is a guy that you could potentially see in the majors in 2024. But yeah, that's our top 5 picks. Just go ahead and auto draft into us. Okay, so Kumar Rocker is still here. So that's very interesting. Just because of, let's see, what does he wants as far as money? 4.7. So Duke Ekstrom demand is 1.8. Like, I don't even think his upside is as high as Rocker's is. Like, this is a guy who could be in your bullpen, like, right now. Doesn't let me for that. Like, it feels very hard to justify not taking Rocker here. Um, Max Carlson from Minnesota would be fun to go here, but I have a hard time justifying anybody other than Rocker. Um, Medeiros is kind of interesting, though control's really low as well. But like again, this is a good college arm where I mean he could be fine in Double A or Triple A right away. But I don't think the upside is as high as with Rocker. I don't think you're going to get as good of a balance as you will anywhere else. So I'm gonna go ahead and draft him. Then go ahead and draft. Skip to our next pick. Okay, so Medeiros is still here, so that's interesting. This is a very interesting bat here as well in Christopher Diaz. Let's slot. What is my slot here? Out of curiosity, 1.7. Okay, so Ekstrom, who's also still here, is just like 1.8, so slightly above that. What's my scouting director? My director recommends Duke Ekstrom, which I get that for sure. Christian Rodriguez is the hitter you recommend, who is low work ethic. No. Okay, so I disagree on that. So to me, this pick is between Diaz and Medeiros. So Diaz does have high intelligence. Medeiros does not. But the floor on Medeiros is much lower. So the one thing that I do normally say is in baseball you aren't picking for need, really, because of how far out most of the time people are going to be. But the fact that I just took, I think if I hadn't taken Rocker in round 1, I would be much more likely to grab this guy here in round 2, where getting kind of that higher floor, maybe slightly lower upside, as opposed to Ekstrom, who like I think the ceiling on Ekstrom is higher. Okay, he does have 4 pitches. All of those look like they're pretty good. Like Medeiros is a better bullpen arm for sure. The thing with Diaz I don't like is I don't like the fact that he's 55 range. If this was 60 range, then I would be considering it much more because he could fake it in center. But 55 range I just don't think is enough, and so you're kind of really are relying on that bat. Yeah, he can't play infield at all. So, let's see. How about you? This is a similar bat profile. He's only 17. Oh, well, turns 18 in 9 days. Low intelligence is not great. There. Jordan Thompson. It's not a shortstop. Good third baseman. But I think the bat would want to be better. If he somehow sticks around to next rounds, I would probably look at Thompson pretty closely here, I think. So I think really what we're looking at is Ekstrom versus Medeiros. Medeiros is, I think, lower floor, or higher floor, lower ceiling, and less money. What? 4.7 million? Why? I don't know that I want to go two of these guys. Extremely hard, though, to sign. But I mean, like, if I just do the demand, it should be fine. So this is definitely Ekstrom is the bigger gamble for sure. But the higher control, let's see, 45 movement. And really what I should just be doing here is just going to compare player and looking at their pitching ratings. So slight stuff advantage to Medeiros. Movement is even. Biggest advantage there is in control for Ekstrom. So they both are 55 stamina. As far as how high do they think that Ekstrom's pitches can go? So if he kind of maxes all of these out, that's basically saying that he could get to what Medeiros's top 3 pitches already are. So I think I'm gonna go Medeiros here. I think we're gonna go back-to-back college arms, which is very unusual for me. But I think that there's more benefits to this. I'm betting he's probably is a senior. Yeah, so that's why the demand is low, is because he doesn't have kind of the threat of going back to school. We are going to go ahead and grab Medeiros. Okay, that's interesting. So Ekstrom's still here. A couple of the other guys that we're looking at are not. Do I want to start 3 pitchers? Swiderski is interesting, but he's. Okay, he still wants me to grab this Christian Rodriguez guy, who I have no interest in whatsoever. Let's see. Let's see. Are there any like actual shortstops or center fielders here? So, okay, what are your hitting ratings? Oh, you just randomly have 65 in field range. Okay, whatever. That doesn't matter. The bat's not great. 20 turn double play. That's, yeah, you're not actually an infielder. Okay, so there aren't really any actual shortstops here. 60 range is not great. Outfield range. This guy does have 70 range. Those are only 50s. The bat's not great. I don't hate taking a shot on that guy later. Maybe the same with this guy. He's 23. Ugh, he's 22. You're only 19. Low work ethic, no thanks. Alright, so there's really not any elite fielders here for me to want to look at. Okay. So as far as my budget goes, if I do draft Ekstrom here, then that would put me at shade over 7 million in bonus demands through 3 rounds. I need to make sure I have at least 5 million saved for international free agents. So as long as I'm under 11 million in budget room, then I'm okay. And I think the upside on Ekstrom is just higher. Well, even I don't actually know how much different the upside is here. So they're both 18. Got higher stuff. Not by a lot. We both have fastball, breaking ball, changeup. Oh no, he's fastball, curveball, slider. Okay. I think I like Ekstrom's mix more. I think he's a flyball pitcher with lower movement is slightly concerning versus Meyer. Personality class unknown, but it won't be anything super problematic probably. Yeah, I think Ekstrom is the play here. Yeah, you have low work ethic, so it won't be you. You have low intelligence, which isn't great. This bat is interesting. And he does only want slot. I really don't like taking somebody with low intelligence here. I think it's just Ekstrom. I think that he's the highest upside. Arm still a lot left, and the bats seem like they've thinned out quite a bit. Let's take a look here. So this is pretty decent bat with low intelligence. Yeah, and then Blake Grimmer, who's just not, like, he's probably just a first baseman, I think, unfortunately. Yeah. So that's just relying on the bat as well. Halter doesn't really have a defensive home. Low power, I don't really care about that because you can't actually play short. You can play second and third okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing... Low work ethic, low intelligence. No, thank you. Low work ethic. Got all these power bats with low work ethic. 40 contact is rough. 21. Yeah. And Robbie Ashford is like kind of interesting. This might be a guy I might look to grab later on. Drafts. I really wish that it feels like speed and outfield range aren't like really correlated, and I feel like they should be correlated more than they are. But yeah, I think we're taking Ekstrom. There's no bat here that's super interesting to me. We're gonna go pitcher, pitcher, pitcher. Until next pick. All right. So Ashford's a guy that I'm still sort of interested in. Let's see, as far as just by potential here. That Chase Meyer guy who I was thinking was interesting is still here, but I don't know that I want to pay that much over slot. Swiderski's low intelligence. His high adaptability and is only 17. Just want slot. And like the thing here is even with the low intelligence, the contact is a lot higher than the quote-unquote center fielder we were looking at. I bet this will visited Robbie Ashford. Here we are. Okay. So yeah, like he's just better everywhere, and then they have the same home run potential. Except Ashford is just faster, which doesn't even lead to notably different things here. Like the range is 5 more and he has a better arm. So like yeah, you can fake it in center field better, but like that's a 5 difference in left field. So I think I am going to go Swiderski here probably. Unless, well, I'm curious, what does my scouting director recommend? He does recommend Chase Meyer, which I don't blame him for at all. Batter, what do you want? Okay. Somebody needs to draft Christian Rodriguez so he stops recommending him. Because, no. Maybe in the 20th round, if he's still there, I'll draft him just to make my scout happy. Or catcher. Are there actually any catchers? I do feel like this is something I looked at. Or wasn't anybody here. Yeah. Or like none of these guys. Well, okay, I take that back. Gonzalez is potentially interesting. And is probably somebody I should be looking to grab at some point. But not yet, I don't think. We are in round 4. This definitely would be between Meyer and Swiderski. This is really, to me, this is a how much do I think the low intelligence really matters. And I feel like work ethic is more important than intelligence for this. And I have already gone 3 pitchers. And I feel like Meyer might just keep dropping if he's, because people just don't want to pay money at this point in the draft. So I'm going to go ahead and grab Swiderski here. If Meyer's still here in the next round, then maybe we'll grab him. Yeah, there he is. Because he wants money. And that would put me at 8.57. I'm curious what my slots were. So that put me 500k over slot. Which is fine. Like, I don't know. Oh, because you're a reliever. So high. That was 86 to 88. That's rough. Renfroe is also another potentially interesting bat who just wants slots, so that would be fine to maybe grab. We're getting into the 40s. Really, the question is, do we want Chase Meyer? It's potentially 3+ pitches. There isn't a changeup there for me to be worried about because I don't know if Out of the Park has fixed changeups developing. 50 stuff max to me says that the likelihood that he's a good reliever isn't super high. He doesn't turn out as a starter. But just gambling on arms is just usually good. Just because they just don't turn out. So the more shots you have at arms, the better. I think we're going to go ahead and grab Chase Meyer here for our 5th round. There are still a couple people I'm interested in. Let's see. Up here, so Blake Grimmer is still here. High intelligence. The bat has to come through. Renfroe is kind of the same way. Bat do I like better? I mean, these 2 guys. I think I like Grimmer's bat better. He could fake it a little bit in the infield. Probably at 2nd and 3rd as well as playing first base. I think we're going to grab him first. I should probably check on that catcher next as well. Because I would rather have him than... Really, I should have done it before. I should have done it in this last pick. So if he's gone, I'm going to be pretty upset. I think he is. He was 60 ability, wasn't he? Crap. Okay, what was the name of that guy? 55 as a catcher. Can you hit? Hit okay. You're honestly like a reasonable catcher. Okay, I want to see where that guy went. This doesn't show me like where they were drafted. Wasn't him. Was this the guy? Yeah, that was the guy. So he went round 5. Okay, so I wasn't really seriously going to take him over Swiderski. Okay, so that I feel better about that he didn't kind of go right here. Okay, that's fine then. One other thing that I should check on is to see if there's anything interesting here. This Marcus Leclerc guy is an interesting bat, but he can't play anywhere. Offensively, nothing that's like super interesting. I mean, JC Vanek is like probably the most interesting one because he's like a reasonable pitcher as well as a reasonable hitter. So you sort of have two shots at him being good. But I don't think that I really want to go there with this pick yet. It's the only guy who's 50 because it's low work ethic, so I don't think I were going to take him. Stewart is high. Let's see. High intelligence. Honestly, with like some pretty similar stuff. Some of the other things we've seen here. I'm definitely okay with Heath Andrews. 35 movement, no thanks. High work ethic. Okay. I mean, this is a decent enough floor arm. Or it seems like he's pretty developed already. So I don't know. There's not a ton of upside to that. Blender. Am I just on all pitchers? Yeah, I'm on all pitchers. That makes sense. So I was wondering where Bruce Renfroe was. And I think that Renfroe is probably where I'm going to go here. I think that the upside to him is probably higher than that of Andrews. We're going to go ahead and do that. 60 outfield range. 75 speed. Huh. Interesting. That's very interesting. We're going to go Renfroe first. Then I actually might grab Victor Scott here because I'm very intrigued by that profile. It's Austin Martin reminiscent to me. I think we're gonna go ahead and grab Heath Andrews. Then have one more pick that we're gonna make here. Yeah, we were not interested in you. With high work ethic, let's see, you're 40. Yeah, no defensive home. 35 high. Okay. That's kind of interesting. Like, you're not a third baseman. You're a decent enough first baseman. Okay. Play at A-ball right away. Yeah. You could play him at high A. I'm actually intrigued by this. Then the one other person that I was going to look at, or I think there was some interesting stuff, was the pitcher who could catch. That was you. Yeah, because I'm not very interested in you as a pitcher, but I am interested in you as a catcher. So yeah, that is going to, I think, be the video. I'll do the last 10 rounds, or 9 rounds off screen, because I don't think there's much super interesting to talk about, because neither of these guys are super interesting. At catcher, there were not any shortstops or center fielders. Yeah, because you can't hit. Your high work ethic might be worth a shot. A couple of these guys might be something I look at, but yeah, that's gonna be the video. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.